There we go. See, that's what happens when I rush. I come late and it's like, when I had muted myself. But I am here now. It is a wonderful world of Oz. Right? Yes. So, what brings the world today? I don't know where everybody is. I know I'm late. We'll see if anybody pops on in. But I gotta tell you, it has been a crazy week here. Absolutely insane. So insane, I've been forgetting my hat everywhere I go. I went to work the other day and I was there for like 3 hours before I even realized I wasn't wearing a lid. Right? Because, he got that retreating forehead. Hair is in retreat. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, somebody Sunday night, early Monday morning around here decided it would be a good idea to go to the town's water reservoir, the drinking water, the treated drinking water, popped the lock off the hatch, and did something, but they didn't know what. So they had to drain the entire system and clean it. So we had absolutely zero water in the pipes for about 3 days. And then they finally got water in the pipes, pressurized the pipes. Excuse me. I just quickly whooped down some food. So then they got it all pressurized and up and running, but you couldn't even let the water contact your skin. And now we're sitting there. Finally, we're on a boiled water advisory, which Monday, Tuesday, they're finally going to possibly lift as long as the tests come back. And everybody's freaking out. You got people going, I want to know what was in the water. Everybody crying and boo-hooing. Where odds are there was nothing in the water. And what I honestly believe happened, it was probably a couple drunks thought it would be funny to walk up on top of the reservoir, pop the hatch, and piss in the tank. They're like, town's gonna drink my piss, and peed in the water. And why? Why would I think that? Because it was talked about when I was younger. My buddies talked about that. Oh, wouldn't it be funny to go piss in the town reservoir? So that's probably what happened. It's crazy. But hey, that's what happens. Psycho, I wouldn't send it back. I wouldn't have them send it back until next week, man, because that boiled water is going to be on for a while. And most people don't want to take the time to boil water. But it was nuts. So, but we have water, but you don't realize how you get so soft about society that when you can't flush your own toilet for 2 days, there's literally no water. You can't flush your toilet. The only water you got initially that first day and a half was what bottles of water for drinking was already in the stores. And I tell you, it was like the toilet paper panic, man. People panicked for bottled water the second the system got shut down and nothing was coming out of the taps and you couldn't flush toilets and all that. Like, people panicked right away. I panic buy water. It was, yeah, there was a vehicle stolen and they found it by the local Bible school. And people are like, oh, it was one of those kids. And I'm like, nah, it wasn't. I guarantee that the person that stole the truck hid it at the Bible school. And they probably live in the neighborhood across the field. Cycle will know there was like a field there where they were using for rodeo grounds. And whoever stole the vehicle, they're probably unrelated or they are related. But if they are, it means it was some local shithead that popped that lock, which was probably the case. I guarantee it. It's probably drunk or high and thought it would be funny to pee in the system. Nothing, nothing overly pog about it here. What's that flower? Boiled water you bought at the thrift store years ago. Really good countertop ceramic water filter system, and you use it whenever the water company messes up the system. Ha. See, those are good systems, flower. But the issue with us is it wasn't that the boiled water for the first few days. They actually had to cut the water off to the entire town and drain the entire system. Millions and millions of gallons had to be dumped, and they couldn't dump it in the river or in the sewer. They had to dump it in the sewage lagoon, so it took quite a while to empty. You know, it took a while to empty before they could clean the system and fill the water back up. I mean, I'm pretty sure the water was actually fine because this thing was probably broken at like 2 a.m. And I drank a ton of coffee before work or before the water got shut off. So, I mean, whatever they did, if they did anything to the water, it's just they found a broken lock. The hatch had been accessed. It wasn't recorded. So, safety laws kick in and they got to drain the damn system. But hey, that's what happens. And I know I got late, and to some people it seems early, so I don't know where Robert and Scepter are. But hey, I got something today. I'm going to show this off. This, look what my lovely woman had made for me. See that? She had that made for me. Damn straight. I love it. That's just kick ass, eh? So now I got to be able to get that up on the shelf on the stand. I love that thing. I mean, she had little ones made previously, but then she had that big one made. Let's see, she had a couple little ones like coasters made, but the other one's a little different with the whole, you know, uh, flower, you know how to flush a toilet with a bucket of water? Well, that's just it. As long as you pour water in the tank, you can flush a damn toilet, or you just dump it in the bowl and it's going to flush. As long as it breaks that trap, you're good to go. People get just absolutely insane about it. And it blows my mind. But hey, but it got me thinking. You know, it got me thinking because if it was like a teens and or someone drunk doing it, it got me thinking about pranks that we had pulled off. You know, when we were younger. Because of this, it got me thinking about that, and I was trying to think of shit, and we pulled one back home in my hometown that resulted in an outcome that still affects the town to this day. All right. About 32 years later, it still affects the town today. And what it was is we were sitting there and it was MTV was doing a thing. You know, record yourself goofing around or pulling pranks in your town, right, or whatever. So we went out, and there is this big three-tiered fountain right across the street from the police station. And we thought we were going to soap this fountain so it like foams bubbles all over the fountain and out into the, you know, we thought we were going to do this. So we went down there and we went with like laundry detergent and dish soap and bubble bath and everything we could. And we dumped so much stuff in this that it foamed, it soaped. You couldn't even see it anymore. It was just this giant pyramid of bubbles. And they ended up having to shut the fountain down. And they flushed it, they drained it, they scrubbed it. And when they turned it back on, a few weeks later, it started to foam bubbles again. And so they shut it down and tried to flush it and clean it. And they turned it on again. And again, it started to foam bubbles. So they end up permanently having to shut this fountain down. They permanently shut it down and turned it into a 3-tier planter for summer flowers. Our prank caused who knows how much damage in money trying to clean this thing. And then they had to turn around and turn it into a flower bed, a 3-tiered flower bed that they replant the flowers in every year. So, I mean, we didn't think of that shit. Now, that's not near the same as like, you know, somebody tampering with a water reservoir. You know, we did that one. Another one, you know, Another one we did, and this was fun. It wasn't a prank. It was just something we like to do. This is a very redneck thing for fun, right? We would grab like a 50-foot chunk of rope and we would tie it to the bumper hitch of the truck. It would be in the in the box of the truck. We'd have the tailgate down, and we would sit there and we would grab a loose shopping cart and we would tie a rope to the other end of it and we'd head down the highway. And when you hit like 60 miles an hour, we'd kick that shopping cart out the back and we would tow that thing behind us with this rope and that shopping cart grinding on the highway, man. You would have this arc of sparks that was like 30 feet high and a tail like 40, 50 feet back. It was just insane. That was a shit ton of fun. Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun. Huh. Well, you should be shutting down fountains during a drought. I mean, if there's going to be a big, I bet you any money, Flower. I bet you any money though that all the rich people's golf courses were as green as could be, and all their swimming pools were still full, though, weren't they? Weren't they? Because you can't fucking upset anybody that's got money. You can't take away something from somebody who has money. That's not fair. But can you do legitimate pranks now? I mean legitimate pranks. Pranks now, you know. uh oh. What the hell are you going on about, Psycho? Ah. What come up on Google? What when you were talking about what did you Google that come up on Memphis, Tennessee, Melbourne, Florida, or fire? What the hell is the like what come up? What are you googling? What come up on Google? Tell me. Oh, that's dude. We're talking pre-internet here. Okay, we're talking before the public had random internet. Like this is long before. In fact, I would have been 14, so it would have been like 35 years ago. Okay, we're talking going way back. So it'd been like 1990. The average Joe did not have the internet in 1990, and I don't even think I was really aware of any type of internet in 1990. You know, so you're not gonna. It's nothing you search is gonna come up. And no, Psycho, it was a town here in Saskatchewan. So there you go. Just to narrow that down a bit. But that's long before the internet, so that definitely wouldn't have be logged on there for people to peruse and check out. I guess I can remove this pin thing about being late. Remove. It is Saturday, right? I am supposed to be here. I can't keep shit together no more. I got a guy that apparently is illiterate at work. You know, nothing ever adds up. Numbers are gone, or he doesn't even do them. So my mornings are filled finishing somebody else's work. But hey, that's the type of shit that happens. It's kind of lost, no hat. So what do you do when you don't have your hat, man? It's actually right here. Here, I'm gonna put my hat on. There. Now I feel better. Now I feel like me. I've got my hat on. Ugh. All right, Flower, you go have your dinner. I quickly scarfed down some food before I hopped on. I know with the everybody's changing time and I didn't, it's always early for everybody else. But you go have some dinner. Spark popped in earlier. Thought he was first for a change, but he wasn't first. I was first. Ah. See, Saigo, is she? It depends what phone she's on. She's got. That woman has more cell phones than you can imagine. It's because, she spends so much time on them, she kills the battery, so she needs multiple phones just to keep going. Wonder what everybody's doing today. What is everybody down south doing today? Oh, I know. Everybody's probably trying to read the completely blacked out, redacted Epstein files. Ugh. What a schnoz shit show. Where am I at here? I don't even know what's the deal, at all. Celia. Celia, nope. Hi might come out as Y. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, monitor went down, come back up. I don't know why that was. Tried to throw a screensaver up. Good evening, Celia. How have you been? Are you all ready to make it through and survive the upcoming crazy week of wonderful, wonderful stuff? As I go, does she have more phones than she has White Monster Ultras? It's a close tie. In a day? Maybe more phones. What's that tell you? Well, that's good. That's good. See, there she's on the other phone. Her different account. She couldn't remember her password. She's bad for that. She loses her password all the time. And it's like, yeah, see, she has two accounts, so she can go on either phone. You can sign in on the other phone on the same account. Just like I can sign in on the computer or on the phone. You don't need two accounts just because you have two phones. But that's okay. Keeps you busy. She's always looking at her screen. So Celia, tell us a story. What's new in the wonderful world of Celia Land? You're all right, clearly. So, excise me. Nope. Demon be gone. I know it's a typo, but I could have a lot of fun with that. How are things in Celia Land? You're clearly all right. You said you're all right. You going anywhere this week? Oh. Taking care of your dogs, gardening, and waiting for a big storm. Oh, big storm. Now, this forgive me, Celia, but I can't remember exactly your general geographical area, but the storm are you waiting for? Is this going to be like a wet storm or a snowstorm or rain? I can't remember how far south you are. It's, I try and keep it all together. You don't have to go anywhere nice. Is everybody coming to you? Or most of your family still all around in the same area? Oh, Flower, you left the burgers to be frozen? So 15 more minutes to cook them? Santa Barbara County. Okay, now I remember. Now I remember. I remember you saying that before now that you put it up there. See, sometimes, The older we get, we need refreshers, right? I mean, you know it's there, but it's like someone's got to kick open that file. It's like firing up an old computer, you know. Put that floppy disk in and get it turning and try and access that information. You haven't upgraded your internal Windows in how many times? No. Oh, he brought out the frozen burger patties. Yeah, nice, nice. Ah, your friend's niece is coming to visit. Very nice. It's always good to have that. Christmas Day, we're going to get up ourselves and we're going to travel not far. It's only a little over an hour away, and we are going to go and see the aunt and uncle and have a meal over there. They are both well into their 80s now. So whenever the elder folk invite you for a visit, you always go. Because you never know when the last time is you're going to get to sit down, have a meal, and laugh with them. Right? So you always have to go. You mean it's like your sister forgot to pick you up after work in winter? Are you talking like today? Santa's Village. They have a Santa's Village around there? Where's the Santa's Village? Flower, fill me in. Because I know where Santa lives. He's north of me. So, he's north of me. I know where he lives. Yeah. So I wonder, are they going to let NORAD track Santa this year? Or are they going to take that away from the kids? I thought that was always fun. You know, NORAD getting in on the game, tracking Santa. Oh, look at this. Come back December 24th to track Santa's flight around the world. Geez, they even got it on a mobile app now? Check it out. It's crazy how that originally started, right? It was a misprint in a newspaper ad, right? When NORAD was tracking Santa, it started in 1955, but it wasn't NORAD at the time, right? It was just the Continental Air Defense Command. But it was a typo in an ad that misprinted the phone number to call, and the number turned out to be to the desk at NORAD. So then they actually kept going and played along and gave out Santa tracking information. And I thought that was cool. You know, it's been going on for so long. I don't think that's something they should ever be giving up. I mean, what? That would make this year what? The 70th anniversary of tracking Santa? That man's been being tracked a long time. Oh, I deleted but didn't unpin. Seriously? Yeah. That'd be awesome. Ooh. They need to. There it is. Yep. All because of misprinted phone number. Paulin. Greetings, young man. How are you this week heading into the holidays? What's a shaking for you? Gonna go hang with family? Or are you gonna sit back and curse family? You know, is everybody ready to hang out with that one drunken uncle that nobody wants to deal with? Oh, your dad had a stroke? I'm sorry to hear that. Is he recovering? You know, Can he talk? I know when I had mine, I could barely talk, but I managed to recover. But he's doing better. Is he able to talk? Because that's something. If you, I could deal with a lot of things, but if I couldn't communicate with the people around me, that would be the worst. Well, that's good then. If he's talking, then I consider that a bang up recovery. Because to me, that's the big one. Because if you can't communicate, that's got to be the hardest. That's I didn't have a slurred speech. I couldn't actually get the words out. My brain wasn't connecting to the rest of my body when it came to speech. When I had mine, I could everything was there, and it would run through my mind like I could say it, but it would take me like 30 seconds to say a single word. So it took forever to try and talk, and it was so frustrating. And people would look at me like I was absolutely retarded because I couldn't talk. And then of course I had to recover my strength. I couldn't stand and I couldn't use my arm, and I had to recover that as fast as I could because, man, after a couple days, they're not going to keep me in the emergency at the hospital no more and keep trying to work on me. They're just going to, if you can't function on your own, they're just going to ship you off to the old folks home. And I definitely did not want to go there. Not that young. No. So I had mine 10 years ago. So, and I got just about all my 100%, almost 100%. You can barely tell. A well educated doctor that knows some signs will look at me and can tell. They'll ask me and be like, "You had a stroke?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And they can tell. My one eye, that's the only giveaway. So, recovery. And to me, being able to talk, that's speech, communication. If that comes back quick, that gives you, you want to fight a lot more. You do your best to recover because the faster you recover, the better your recovery is going to be. You know, my grandfather had like 9 strokes. He had a bunch of small ones and 2 major ones, and it was crazy. The last one took his speech entirely, but that was 9. That man fought 9 of them. So keep going, Colin. It'll work. Orange Crush. Warm and half flat because it's from yesterday. It's been sitting on my desk. But I waste not, want not. Every time I go to waste something that's half done, all I hear my grandmother in the back of my mind going, "There's starving kids in Africa that would kill for that." So I don't waste anything. It's going to be quiet in these holidays. When I was looking at the calendar. And I get to avoid being on like New Year's. I work Christmas Eve, I work Boxing Day, but I get Christmas Day off. And yet, if it was my choice, I would open the store Christmas Day for about 5 hours because we'd be the only place in town open and we would make money. We'd make good money. But what the hell, right? So that's just messed up. Oh. Posing another question here, Colin. What would you do if you lived in a world where we coexisted with supernatural beings and other beings? How would you react? You'd get drunk. Well, Colin, I would absolutely be in my heyday. Absolutely. Because I pondered a question similar to that. And And one of them was if I ever came across and had the ability for like a wish, if I had one wish, it would be immortality with caveats attached. But I mean, if you had supernatural beings and other creatures that we don't know about all of a sudden around in the world, I wouldn't be going to get drunk because I would be wanting to survive. Okay. So I would probably still live the way I live. I would have the home would be secured differently depending on what beings and creatures were around, you know? Because I tell you, I mean, you live somewhere where you got animals already that'll hunt you and eat you, right? I mean, as it is here, we got wolves and bears and coyotes and moose and polar bears eat people up here and, stuff like that. So you got to deal with things. Worrying about a supernatural animal is not all that different than worrying about the actual ones we have here, you know? Well, your flower. This is what I said. Is it would be immortality. However, it would go with the traditional idea of what immortality is. Is there is a way for you to die. Every immortal being in lore has a death key, right? Whether it be decapitation or stabbed through the heart with a copper dagger forged by a blind monk on a full moon or something. Every immortal being has a death key, and some are very complicated. Right. And I would want the immortality, but I would also want the speed and strength that goes along with such a thing. I mean, I don't want to be the same kind of broken down body I am now. And I want to be able to pick my own death key. Because every immortal being has a death key. Right? So, you want to pick your own death key. Oh, now, Flower, when it comes to the other thing, when you say not the body, it's the soul. When it comes to the idea of immortality in the soul, when it comes to that, I do not believe there is such a thing as actual death. Death is nothing. And to me, despite what anybody says and what anybody believes or anything, the makeup and operation of the human body as we know it is energy that functions in the brain and between the cells and everything that may communicate. It's these little electrical energy pulses, and you can call that the soul. You could physically say that is, we don't know what it is. And when energy stops, it doesn't disappear. It just changes form. Energy doesn't die or disappear. It just changes form. So therefore, that would be it. And when it comes to the idea of the physical immortality, and yeah, a million years from now, boredom set in, Flower. That's why you have to have a death key. See, if you finally got to the end of the physical world, you would have your way out. Everybody needs that. But you could take time to do things. I know. You could take time to do things. Another one. Here's another one that I want to know. That one thing I would wish we could do too. Could you imagine if human beings had what a lot of animals do? And certain insects and stuff, the idea of genetic memory. That you would be born with all the knowledge in your genetic line before you. So you would be born and you would grow up, and if you had a family line of doctors behind you, you would have all their knowledge and experience as you grew up and learned that thing as well. Could you imagine if you actually had genetic memory where you would be born knowing, having the knowledge of skills. You would still have to learn the skill, but you would have all the knowledge already and be able to expand on it. You know, how advanced the world would wind up becoming. You directed the conversation kind of this way, Flower. Actually, you and Colin. So congrats. It gets interesting. Your dinner is ready, putting together the buns and condiments now. You go have your dinner, Flower. You go have your dinner. I came on late. It's going to be a short night, and we'll end up. We could tackle this one like next Saturday and go deep on it. The idea of you know in immortality and existence forever, both the physical and the spiritual and all this, because I would like to see Robert's view on it when he could be here. I don't know where he is. He's off busy. He's out doing something. So I would like to get that. Because sometimes they get going, you get flowing, right? But I would like the idea of immortality. But then, would you want the ability to grant immortality? Right? Kind of like a Highlander, there can be only one. Immortality wouldn't suck. It would suck in a way. It would suck in a way as you would relatively have a very lonely existence cycle, and that would be the truth, because everybody you knew, everybody you got attached to, everybody you loved would eventually grow old and die. And quite frankly, as all the tales and stories and visions and versions of immortal beings constantly have to leave where they are and start over, because after so many years people start to clue in, oh, how come you're not aging, what is wrong with you, well, this is really weird, and people start to talk. So like every 10 to 15 years you would have to leave the world life you created for yourself in that time behind and go somewhere else. And in this modern age, that would be pretty hard to hide. So then you come up with a way, right? I think it would be interesting. I think it would be fascinating. I got a whole thought process on that. And then you'd be so bored you'd want to make the world interesting, right? So you said that this is the one time, this is what I thought when I said like the idea when Colin said the creatures and all that, right? Going back to that, I thought of the idea the one time, is that what tied into the idea of the wishes is one, you'd be immortal. If you only had one, it would be immortality. With all them attached caveats, you don't just give the one basic wish. You lay it out like a contract, right? And then, you have, then what do you do after that? You don't really need any other, because you now have the ability and the time to achieve anything else you'd want to do. So then what do you do? And then I thought one of them would be, the third one, or second wish would be to wish all fantastical creatures, even those of nightmare, into reality. To liven up the world, right? Make nightmares real. The scariest things you can think of would all of a sudden be real. That would make the world terrifying, but not for you, because you wouldn't have to worry. But then you have a third one. What do? You keep that third one in your pocket, because it would give you the ability later on, however long or even however short a time to go by, that you could undo what you'd already done. Right? That would be the thing. You could undo what you already done. There's a, I don't know if anybody ever seen it. There is a, like a short film on YouTube about a guy finds a genie in a lamp in the garage. And his first wish to the genie is, the idea is that he wishes that he gets to run any potential wish he wants to the genie in front of the genie, and that the genie has to tell him the truth and how the genie would turn the wish to screw him over. A wish audit. It's actually really, really funny. So I'm gonna see if I can find it and send the link because I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. Right there it is. That would be it right there. I'll copy that. Post that right in here. Check this out when I go, because this is it's the idea of someone trying not to get screwed over by the genie and the wish, right? And they get through the wish audit. It's actually pretty good. It's ingenious. The guys that did it, they did a hell of a good job. So I recommend watching that video. I don't know why I'm recommending something a year old by somebody who gets millions and millions upon millions of views, but that's probably how they got it because it's so damn good. They have to see it. I did my little Christmas videos, right? Got a couple of them out. Got some New Year's ones to go. They're going to drop like New Year's Day, January 1st. But, oh. See, Psycho, this is the one thing I've always thought about magic is the idea of magic is just science you don't it's just science you don't understand, right? Uh, but it's like how quickly science would progress with all the fantastical things becoming reality. Yeah, they would advance really, really, really fast, and I would love it. I don't know why I had to have so many reallys in there, but it would advance really fast. It would be epic, and you would learn things. And the idea of magic. I'm a believer in magic. Magic doesn't have to be the idea of something mystical. It's something fantastic that you don't understand is magic. And speaking of, as much as I don't seem uh, as much as a lot of the new movies irk me and sequels and trilogies I don't enjoy so much, I'm actually kind of going to enjoy trying to watch the new Now You See Me movie. Because, well, now I see them. Oh, what's a happening? Yeah, I guess I better get going. It's about that time. I got to get up at 4. I wake up at 3 normally. Lately, I've been getting up at like 11, 11:30, 1, 1:32, 2:33, and then finally I just say, fuck it, and get out of bed. So I'm going to take off. Everybody, have yourself a good night. Celia, have an epic weekend. Enjoy the visit over the Christmas holidays. Flower, enjoy your casual small Christmas. Those sometimes are absolutely the best. You don't need all the commercialism. Myself, I don't need anything for Christmas. I am not a fan of gift getting. Psycho, good night. I'll definitely run into you. I go to the grocery store, so I'll run into you. Everybody, Robert Scepter missed you. I don't know if you'll end up popping by. Colin, have yourself a good night. Why does that keep blacking out? And Sparks, brother, I tell you, I didn't see you, but you have yourself a good night too. So everybody, take care. I'll see everybody on Saturday.